The battle is on, and both of those gymnasts are coming off of season best meets. We'll see how they respond tonight. Kentucky, of course, playing host Auburn on the road for an SEC dual meet for the first time this season. So it will be the first time they compete in an event like this. Here's what you should expect. You will see 6 gymnasts per team on each apparatus. The best 5 scores count. The lowest one gets dropped. We use what is called Olympic order, which means the home team goes vault, bars, beam, and then floor, while the road team, the Tigers, will do the inverse. We talked a little bit about the all-around competition, but ultimately that team score is just as important as the SEC and this league continues to heat up. It's as good as it's ever been. All 9 teams ranked in the top 15, and every meet matters.
There are some fantastic athletes in the Southeastern Conference. We have Olympians, we have amazing competitors, people that have scored 10s in the past. The difficulty has just risen tremendously over the last few years. So let's get this excitement going.
Hey, we are underway here in Lexington, starting you off with a little Yurchenko by Cecily Rizzo. Kentucky ranked 5th in the country on vault. This is one of their stronger events, and yet their best score of the season came in week 1. They're looking to get back to that number today. For Auburn, they'll start on the bars with Alex Irvine, the sophomore.
The first routine for Auburn here, a little short of that handstand just to begin. We're always looking for these beautiful body lines, beautiful pike. So again, just a little short of handstand. Full twisting double back to a stick.
Alex set the tone very nicely for the Tigers in this leadoff spot last week as well. She had a season high 9.825. Here's her release again.
Right, this is the Pike Jaeger. Very nice on her body position. The release is well above the bar, which is what we're looking for. Good routine.
You will see the scores begin to come across on the right side of your screen. Remember, 6 gymnasts compete. Top 5 scores count. We'll keep you updated as we have scores come in. Next for Kentucky, it's Ryan Noonan, the freshman. A freshman with a 10-0 start value, Leah. That's huge for the Wildcats in this 2 position.
It's great. They have 5 10-0 start values. Auburn has all 6 of those are 10-0 start value. Let's watch the vault. Beautiful. Beautiful vault.
Next on bars for Auburn, Grace Boyd.
First score of the night is in Cecily Rizzo, a 9.8. That matches her score from last week, and we are off and running. Grace Boyd next up for the Tigers on bars. Bars is going to be interesting to keep an eye on tonight. Auburn ranked 11th in the country, Kentucky ranked 12th. So fairly evenly matched when you look at the scores from throughout the start of this season to this point, and still looking to elevate as we settle in to SEC competition.
Beautiful handstand there. The release to the high bar. Beautiful salto. Very good with this routine so far. There's a stalker to the dismount, very unusual. A double tuck dismount. Just a little balance error there. This year we talked about they're looking for the complete stick, no balance errors. Very nice routine.
Next up for Kentucky, Mackenzie Wilson, ranked 6th in the country on this event, thanks to a couple of extremely high scores to start this year. Not as high as she did at this meet last year, a 10-0 here on Excite Night.
Well,
how does she do this year?
She's capable. Here we go. The pike front. There you go. There's a wonderful vault. So So what we're looking for on the vault is the repulsion off the vault table. Right here, boom, up in the air for the half turn and a complete stick. She can do it.
And a smile and a nod at the end tells you everything you need to know about Mackenzie's vault. It was a 9.775 for Noonan on the vault for Kentucky. A couple of scores now coming in for the Tigers. A 9.85 and a 9.775 to set the tone here as the meet gets underway. Olivia Hollingsworth is up next. Her coach said she's one of the, quote, grandmas on this team, but he can say that because she says that. Brings a lot of experience to this lineup.
She definitely is an experienced competitor. Spike Yeager again, beautiful body lines. Bringing this to a close with a nice handstand. Giant swing, full twisting double back. Little step there that will cost her on her landing. Other than that, a very nice, clean routine.
It's a 9.925 for Mackenzie Wilson on the vault. And next up, one of her teammates also ranked in the top 10 in this event. Isabella Magnelli, 4th in the country. Kentucky very deep at this event.
They sure are one of their better, if not their best event this year. There again, you see the pike half. So she does a front handspring onto the vault table. You want to see the block, the amplitude in the air, and then the pike half. Let's watch it here on the replay. Here's the block, up, pike. Little hop there. Other than that, it was a very nice ball.
Rocking the boas here on Excite Night. Lots of fun in store for the fans in attendance, and we'll make sure to show you the fun at home as well. A little bit of glitter would be an understatement.
Oh, yeah. You got to have glitter and sparkle at Excite Night.
It's Brett Bartman next, a redshirt freshman for the Tigers.
This is one of the biggest release moves I've seen this year. Look how high she was above the bar. That was amazing, and that's what those judges are looking for. Again, the amplitude. Sitting up for a dismount. Front giant to the double front. That is a very difficult dismount because the landing is blind. You just hope the floor is there when you open it up. But
we'll take
look at this release move. Huge above the bar. Just amazing. And then just the front giant to the double front. Almost had that, but very nice routine.
Off to a very strong start, both teams to this point. It's the 5th-year senior all-arounder, Skylar Killer-Wilhelm.
That's a Yurchenko 4.5, 10-0 start value. Landed a little short and had to buckle a little bit. That will cost her a few deductions, but her distance away from the table was fantastic. Things the judges are really looking for this year, the amplitude and the distance on the vault.
And we had the chance to talk with Kentucky coach Garrison earlier this week, and his focus, you said it right there, amplitude. That's what he's really focusing on this week to keep seeing improvement from his Wildcats. Skylar Killer-Wilhelm, her first season with that vault.
Her vault will really add a lot to their vault lineup. Now we have Anna Flynn Cashin. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go to bars first. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm sorry.
A lot to be excited about. This is the part of the lineup.
They're another huge, huge release.
This back half of their bars lineup is incredibly strong.
Look at that. The full twisting double back with a little step, but those release moves were gigantic.
Olivia Grieve, she had a 9.925 last week, which was a career high. For Kentucky, Kentucky. We show you now the man at the helm. It's head coach Tim Garrison in his 14th season. He's led UK to an NCAA regional every single season he's been the head coach. Incredibly impressive in this league especially.
Absolutely. I was looking at the graph today of how this program has elevated under his coaching experience and what he's done for this program, and they are truly, he said, I loved it last year, I don't want to be in the conversation. I want to be about the conversation.
Well, that's Anna Flynn Cashin, the freshman for Kentucky. Likely not the vault she wanted to perform there. We'll see if we can get you another look at it. She performed this week 1, ranked first in the country. She had a 9.95 there, but she had not competed it in the last 2 meets. So they got her back in the lineup today. We'll see that score when it comes in. For now, it's the all-arounder for the Tigers, Caitlin, a.k.a. Kiko Jong, out of Allen, Texas. She's phenomenal.
And if you want to see some excellent execution, young gymnasts, watch this routine. The feet and legs are just tight together. There's never a form break in her routine. She's just a classic. Watch this and how to do it.
She has not
Beautiful
scored.
Stalter. Full twisting double back.
Jong has not scored below a 9.9 on this event this season.
Well, she is excellent, and as I said, once again, her execution is flawless. Little step on the landing. That's it.
So that's your first time seeing the SEC Freshman of the Week, but we do expect to see her on all 4 events tonight.
You're going to be seeing a lot more of her this year.
Now we move on to the exhibition part of the lineup for Kentucky. That is Delaney Rodriguez, the sophomore.
So Yurchenko full. It's nice to have that as a backup vault. So these coaches are experimenting with lineups right now. About halfway through the season, they're trying to find out the right and perfect combination as they get close to championships and nationals. Speaking of nationals and scoring, the RQS kicks in on February 24th, I believe. Coming up soon. So you'll see a lot of ranking changes and score changes when that happens.
Yes, we explained to our friends out there, the NQS, briefly, like, did they hear that? What should they think?
Well, the NQS is the national qualifying score, and there's a formula for that. Before you have enough scores to make that happen, they just go on raw scores and add those together. Once you get the NQS, then you throw out some scores and you add in some scores. So it will change those rankings. Grace is happy with that.
Great exhibition there for the Tigers. So we are already through rotation 1, but just getting underway here on Excite Night. We've been doing this for 40 years. Check it out next Friday for all the Kentucky fans watching. Yes, the Cats travel to #1 Oklahoma. That'll be on the SEC Network, and that's just one of the incredible meets on next week's slate. But for now, it's all about tonight, and we're only through 1 rotation, and this is close, it's competitive, and we're about to get rolling on rotation 2. That'll show you Auburn on the vault, Kentucky on the bars. For the Tigers, get ready to see some of the toughest vaults competed in college, because not just the gymnasts you see compete, but 7 of their top 8 have 10-0 start values. Correct. The difficulty level is very high. Meanwhile, for Kentucky on the bars,
huge release move again.
It's Isabella Ravelli.
You know, the things we look for on bars, obviously we talk about it a lot, but those release moves should be above the bar. The dismounts should be stuck, as we know. Now that's it right there.
That's a stick for the Cats.
No balance check whatsoever.
You see the joy on her face. Obviously, you can tell because of the routine she just performed. But there's a lot that goes into this, Leah.
We talked about it. If you look at the chart here, we're looking for 10 degrees of the handstands, and she's there. Amplitude in the release moves, tight legs squeezed together, ankles squeezed together, and a stuck like this, dismount.
And the elation on Coach Garrison's face, too. Some of that. Isabella had a tough meet last week. She struggled on the bars, and we saw her fighting a little frustration in warm-up. So for her to nail it like that, that's why she's so pleased with that number. We'll get you her score here shortly.
Well, she just gave everybody a lesson on a stuck dismount.
Here's a vault for Auburn. It's Julianne
Yurchenko,
Huff.
full and a half. Again, stuck. It's a great vault there for Auburn.
From
Tigers.
Huff, the sophomore, now we show you the freshman, Ryan Noonan.
You know, to be a freshman, she's come in and made a spot for herself in the lineup. I think Ryan's really going to be a contributor for the Cats this year. Here's the release. Bail to handstand. Sitting up for a dismount. 2 giant swings to a double layout. Stick.
2 sticks to start this rotation for Kentucky. Can't ask for a better start than
Fantastic. You know, if you watch here her dismount on the double layout, she hiked just a little bit, not a lot, but these judges are really finding baby tints. Baby tints.
Baby tens. And we'll show you the scores here for the Tigers in a moment, but Sarah Zoyce was their leadoff. She had a 9.65. You think that is the score they are hoping to drop, and it comes from their leadoff. The pressure's on for these next 5 gymnasts right here at Sydney Shoemaker.
Very nice vault. Little more block off that table to give her time to land it square. Yurchenko full and a half.
The Tigers only had 1 score reach the 9-9 range on the vault last week, so they have certainly focused on that this week, hoping to hit some more of those marks.
Right, they scored a 49-2 last week. They're ranked 17th in the country, so they are a good vaulting team.
Another senior up for Kentucky coming up. It'll be Haley Davis. Still looking for a stick on this season. She had a 9.75 last week, the 5th-year senior.
And we've watched Haley over the years mature as a gymnast. Giving Kentucky their 5th year, or her 5th year. Another nice release move above the bar. The bail to handstand, little loose. And let's look at Haley's dismount here. Another double layout. That's about as good as you get.
Small step, but a great routine by Haley. For Auburn, the man at the helm, it's head coach Jeff Graba in his 15th season with the Tigers. He was the SEC Coach of the Year 3 times throughout that stretch. And he's talked a lot about this squad, happy with where they are right now. Obviously, always looking to get better, but they're 1-0 in league competition. This is their first time on the road, and he thought this would be their toughest road test yet.
Full and a half. Yurchenko full and a half. Very nice distance away from the table. Good vault for the Tigers.
That's vault number 45 in Sarah Hubbard's career. She's done this in every single meet of her career.
There she is. Just like to see a little bit tighter legs during the twisting phase of that vault, but it was a very nice vault.
Next, you'll see Jillian Perkaski on the bars for Kentucky. She competes a multitude of events. We expect to see her here and on floor this evening. But this is her premier event. This is her favorite event. She had a 9.825 here last week, and you see her average right around that as well. A very consistent performer in this lineup.
Jillian had some injuries last year that prevented her from being the athlete I think she could have been. But she's on the comeback. And as you said, this is her best event. Here we go. Salto. Pause. Sitting up for the dismount. Double layout. Well, I think Kentucky's got some sticky on their feet tonight, on the bars anyway.
That's what the judges are looking for, that the feet are still, the body is still. No balance checks on that one. All right, it's the all-arounder, the freshman again, Kiko Jong, getting set on the vault for the Tigers.
Typically a very good vault. No exception there, except the big hop in the landing. A little more height off the table, but good distance from the. You see she's a little short there.
I love this. We had the chance to talk to Coach Graba this week. He says they don't necessarily have goals this year because you always have the same goals. Instead, week by week, they're calling them missions.
Right.
And
like
Kiko
that.
Jong certainly on a mission to start this meet tonight. Delaney Rodriguez next in the lineup for Kentucky on the bars. You saw her on exhibition for the vault. This routine will count for Kentucky.
Delaney has.
Go ahead, sorry.
She has a lot of nice release moves in her routine, so we can keep an eye out for that. Another huge Tkachev above the bar. Nice handstand. For hip. The band. I know sometimes we talk gymnastics terms, and I know a lot of people don't know the names of things, so we just try to show you what's required and what they do. Nice routine for Delaney. Better known as D-Rod.
D-Rod. She used to lead off on this event, and her scores have been so consistent, so strong. She's moved down in this lineup. There's why.
Look at the height in that Tkachev. Just huge. Most of the funny names you hear for some of these elements, they've been named for the person that did them first in international competition.
Paige Zancan, a huge vault. Squatted it a little bit, but that is a difficult and unique vault for the fans
It
to
is
see.
quite unusual. Front handspring on, the front handspring off, front pike.
She did a 9.9 last week. That tied her career high, and her head coach told us that her vault, her personality also helped settle her team down last week. They were struggling a little bit on this apparatus, and Zancan was able to be that leader and step up and perform a great vault. So far, you see the scores. Auburn in position to drop that 9.65.
I saw that vault last week when they competed, and I was like, wow. Not quite the landing she wanted there, but it's still an unusual, very difficult vault because a lot of blind spots throughout that vault.
Kiko Jong with a 9.725 on the vault. And fresh off her routine, Jillian Prokowski, a 9.875 on the bar. Still waiting on Delaney Rodriguez's score. But up next, it'll be that fifth-year senior all-arounder, Skylar Killer-Wilhelm.
You know, some of the young people watching that are aspiring young gymnasts, this summer, just try doing some of these things in a pool, like a front handspring front or a front handspring full, and just see how difficult it is trying to find which way your body's going, you know, like Simone called the twisties. So you're rotating one way and twisting another way, and these athletes are amazing. There you go. The ice cream, the famous Kentucky ice cream.
Well, a little bit of a delay there, so we've seen Skylar just stay in the zone, stay focused, try to block all this out. It's easy to get caught up in the energy, but you have to be able to focus it.
It's true, and when you're caught in this position, if there's an inquiry on a routine or an injury or something that's holding it up, especially when you're pumped and ready, and then you have to just stand there for what seems like an eternity. Some coaches try to talk to them, some gymnasts are okay on their own, just working through, or some of them will dance around, try to stay loose, but looks like we're ready.
Now, Skylar has anchored here all three meets to start this season. Let's see what she has in store for us tonight.
Nice handstand. The front giant, pike Jaeger. Beautiful routine going so far. Just the excitement in these bar routines. The athletes, the skills they're doing at this level, it's just amazing. There's the pike layout. I'm sorry, double pike layout.
And she holds it and sticks it. It was so fun to watch her in warm-ups practicing this routine, and her head coach, Tim Garrison, said, you have to hold it. That's part of the emphasis this year. Make sure you're counting 1,
Right.
2.
Here we come with the dismount. 1,001, 1,002. They got that gummy on the bottom of their feet this week.
Maybe 3 seconds just for good measure. Make sure the judges see. She held that pose.
I didn't see a balance check.
So there was a scoring change previously. That's what that delay was about. It is in regards to Delaney Rodriguez on the bar. That score you see on your screen now is correct, a 9-8, which means the Cats are in position to drop the 9-7-5. Auburn, of course, with the lead after the first rotation, but Kentucky doing a little bit of damage in this one to make up for it.
I'll tell you what, they are hitting some bars tonight. And, you know, all of these teams from 1 through 15 can beat anybody any day. They're all so very, very good. So consistency, that's the name of the game.
You'll see an exhibition here for Kentucky. Annie Reigert getting ready to do her routine. Remember, we told you up top, 6 compete, 5 scores counts, but these teams are allowed to see an extra routine in the exhibition.
Right, and what happened there, she just slipped off the bars. Luckily, no injuries. She just kind of, that would shake you up a little bit, but her grips just slipped off the bar. If we watch a replay, I don't know if we have it. Sometimes the grip will break, and that throws the athlete off. Let's look at the replay here. As she comes right here, her hands just slip off the bar. Luckily, she was already flipping, so she landed on her feet and not her head. So we're thankful for that.
Absolutely. Leah, you talk sometimes about gymnasts learn how to do that when they come off so that they don't hurt themselves.
Correct, correct. You know, from a very early age, you teach them how to fall. That sounds silly, but, you know, your natural instincts, stick out your hands and you break your arm, you know, or whatever. So you teach them to land.
Well, there you go.
Or to fall.
That'll take us to the end of rotation 2, but a whole lot more still to come in Lexington. It's Excite Night.
And tenths and hundredths and half of a tenth.
Well, and you see that on display by these scores right now. Auburn with the slight lead after the first. The Cats have now not only taken that lead, but really started to grow it a little bit as we head into the third rotation. Kentucky will be on the beam. Auburn will be on the floor here in historic Memorial Coliseum. For Kentucky on the beam, we'll start with Delaney Rodriguez. She's been the leadoff here every single meet this season. We talked with her head coach, Tim Garrison, about that.
You know, that's one of the most important spots. We've talked about this before, but, you know, that first person up sets the tone. If the first athlete happens to fall, then the pressure falls back on all of the other athletes that they have to hit. So I told my kids that did this position, this is the most important leadoff position for the team, and it takes a lot of nerves and guts to just get up there and knock it out. Delaney's done this in 4 events, so I think Coach Garrison feels like she's that person to yank her.
He said she's carefree, she's unfazed, and she can put anybody at ease. Even if something crazy happens during warm-up, she's good at just riding it off and still doing her routine.
You know, we talk about what are we looking for on beam, and, you know, we talk about execution and all of that, but the balance beam is a performance, just like the floor exercise. I said you shouldn't look like the beam is across Niagara Falls and you're terrified. You should make it look like an exciting dance routine with acrobatics, and it's fun and exciting.
Delaney Rodriguez having a little bit of fun with the dismount there.
She plays the crowd, that's for sure, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, entertain these people. They paid to get in here.
Beautiful triple series there. Here's the dismount. Great start for Kentucky on the beam. We'll go now to the floor where you see Sophia Bell, the freshman out of Blue Springs, Missouri. This is a powerful routine. Watch some of the height she gets here. She can get great height, and she loves to get the crowd involved, even when she's on the road.
Some great music, so everybody should be popping to this. Great front pass, first pass, 4.5 inch front, and now she's rocking out. Get it, girl. This is what the crowd loves. You know, when gymnastics first started collegiately, it was to piano music, and you couldn't have any orchestration or instrumentation. And the crowd didn't get into it, but now they absolutely love it. I think Auburn likes the party.
Well, Auburn Auburn had season highs on 3 of the 4 events last week, including here on the floor. So they will be looking for some high scores here to help retake that lead.
Double pike finish. That was a really, really nice routine.
Fun routine by Sophia Bell.
A lot of entertaining.
Good way to get the Tigers started.
Let's watch again. That's your full and half front tuck. First pass. Very nicely done.
Next on being for Kentucky.
Ends with a double pike. See how she slid her leg back in that lunge, so that's a deduction. She didn't stick it. So Cressland is another performer for Kentucky. Much like Delaney, she will sell her routine to the crowd, to the judges.
Delaney turned in a 9.875 in the first spot.
Nice pinch front there. And again, on the balance beam, like all the events, there are requirements. That's a front toss. Go back handspring. She'll get connection bonus for that skill. A little slow between the two, so that could be iffy with the judges. And on those leaps, their legs need to be perfectly split. Again, amplitude above the beam. Just that full turn. So many times the fall occurs there after they have beautiful acro series, they'll miss a full turn. But it is a requirement. Dismount.
Grabs it by the toes.
Front toss, this is called, to a back handspring. Connection bonus for Crescent. The round off, full and a half. Yeah, we got it.
The sound effect adds a lot there. Here's Miss Olivia Greaves for the Tigers. She was the leadoff here last week and put up a career best 9.85. Should be another strong routine.
On her double tuck, first pass. Got to stand that up. Powerful routine with the music. I really like when the athlete's choreography matches the music. I think that's important.
Well, you will see Auburn Tiger Gabby McLaughlin here in a few routines. She actually assists on some of the team's choreography. Helps bring that personality out for the Tigers.
It's great to have someone like that in the gym who can really dance. Got a tight there at the last. This is her required leap series. Switch the ring. That was really nice. The switch ring is a very difficult leap to do because there are special things that you have to accomplish in the air in order to get that to count. But she did it very, very nicely.
Olivia had a 9.825 on the bars earlier tonight. We'll see what she turns in on the floor momentarily for Kentucky. An 9.875 for Delaney Rodriguez, followed by a 9.825 for Cressland Bros. We'll see how Sharon Lee follows that up. She had a strong collegiate debut a few weeks ago, a 9.9 here, because she hit all of these points of emphasis. What do you look for, Leah?
Well, again, like I said, I want it to be a performance, not like they're glued to the beam and they're just jittery. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about, but the best beam workers are aggressive, assertive. They get up there and perform the gymnastics acro elements just like the floor. They are strong and committed to the dance moves. They're not holding back. Leaps are high, turns complete. So, and then, of course, the landing, but we will try to point some of those out. This is the acro flight series. 3-element flight, which is very difficult. You only have to do 2, so she did more than required. I see with Coach Garrison, there's going to be an inquiry. I also like how she's looking away from the beam. I really enjoy when the athletes do that. They don't keep their focus right on the beam. Remember, Maggie, 4 inches. It's the size of your cell phone.
I think about that when you say perform like you're on the floor, as if that's comparable to the 4 inches of the beam.
So you're going to do a back layout somersault on your cell phone. The size of your cell phone.
Well, the best ones can do it. Sharon Lee ranked 7th in the country thanks to that 9.9 from her debut. Here's the dismount. A stick.
Here we go.
For the sophomore.
I think you're going to see that score again.
Here's another look at this routine.
This is her 3-element acro series. Back hamstring, back layout, stick. Not 1 ounce of a wobble. And then here's the dismount, a 4.5. Look at her pulling that in.
The word of this Kentucky team is gritty. Coach Garrison loves the word gritty, and I think you could see that in the way she held that.
She did. She was less,
gritty. I loved it.
Right.
Here's Olivia Hollingsworth now for the Tigers. This is the 50th beam routine of her career. Whoa. She's been all over the place for the Tigers. She's done the all-around 27 times, but right now, all focus on the floor.
Oh. Okay, so that was a full in, which is a full twisting double back. Unfortunately, she was short on the landing, and it does look like she has gotten an injury from that. That's just terrible. We'll just take a pause here. Make sure she's okay. Say some prayers.
So her head coach standing by with the other competitors, of course. The rest of the team will still have to compete, but her assistant coaches, other members of the staff, are with Olivia right now.
Yeah, I'm sure the trainers will assess her and get her off the floor to the medical staff.
Round of applause for Olivia Hollingsworth here in Lexington.
It's really bad news for that senior.
It's so tough. It's such a tough sport, and to see someone compete at such a high level.
And you can do things 1,000 times. That's why repetition and consistency are so important. But we can kind of see from the replay what happened here. She just came in short. Luckily, her head and neck were off the ground, but it looks like her knee took the brunt of that. So again, we're doing 2 twists and 2 flips. That's a very difficult.
Very difficult, and also very difficult for everybody in this arena.
It does cause
there's a shift, right?
Yeah.
There is a shift.
Because nobody wants anybody to get
Absolutely not. And for someone to come up next who has not competed yet this season, she's done an exhibition, but this is the first time this will come up for Chesney Bennett.
There's the 3-element acro series, perfectly done, and she was right on the edge of that, into that beam. I asked her if she was named for Kenny Chesney. She said yes, as a matter of fact. So huge balance wobble there. That's going to cost her some. That wasn't quite the split. I want to see that all the way to a full split. Tight dismount. It's hard to go after an injury like that when the place has just gone solemn all of a sudden. So she did, to the best of her ability. I admire that.
She does hang on, but like you said, there is a significant deduction for a balance check like that. So you would think that's the one Kentucky hopes to drop. Sharon Lee had turned in a 9.875. As we go back now to the floor, where again, you got to bring the energy back up. You have to think about your teammate and send well wishes her way, but at the same time, you got to go. For an athlete like Gabby McLaughlin, who is just ready to go on this event, she's been waiting all night already to compete. This is her first opportunity, and she'll have to keep waiting here for another minute.
Right, and sometimes the athletes, the ones that are what we call on deck, sometimes they do turn their backs to what's going on in front of them just because of that particular thing. Or if they're nervous or whatever, but they're concentrating on their own routine at that point.
So, Leah, for a routine that was not finished, such as the last one we saw by the Tigers, Olivia Hollingsworth, how does that impact scoring here?
They will judge up to what they saw. And then, of course, a major fall, it's going to be a non-counting score for sure. So we just wish her our best and hope she can get the Tigers back on track.
Absolutely.
And also, you know, that hangs in your mind a little bit. What you just saw your teammate go through. So
it helps
her the best.
Absolutely, and it has to help that Gabby is coming into this position as a fifth-year senior, so experienced.
Absolutely.
Her coaches talk about her as an extra coach for the Tigers. That's the kind of leader that she is for this team.
And I'm seeing that across the country with the fifth years. They're bringing, just like other sports, they're bringing that experience and leadership and imparting what they know to the young ones. So I think it's fantastic.
Here comes Gabby. She had a 9.875 as the anchor here last week. A sharp routine, high energy, and certainly a crowd favorite.
I think she's going to get the crowd back into it. This looks like exciting and fun dance. Lots of percussion. Comes that front pass. 1.5 front layout. Very nice. Nice legs, no deductions there. You see a lot. Legs come apart, but not that time. Okay, let's look at the required leap series. Very nice. She liked it. I loved it. You know, these college ladies really perform on floor, and it's so exciting. Putting a little of her personality into it. Actually, a lot of her personality. This is a fun routine. Dismount.
Huge last pass.
Double pike. I think we're going to see a nice score in this routine. Awesome routine. Good for her.
Good for Gabby, crushing it for the Tigers. We'll show you another look at some of the best moments from this one, but high energy, start to finish.
4.5 front layout, perfectly done. Look at that leap. Beautiful splits in the wolf full. She was happy.
We talked about sound effects. I think that was a whoo!
A relief.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's funny, every athlete has one part in their routine that's like their Achilles heel thing, and when they get through that, it's like, yes, I'm home free now.
Well, here's the fifth-year senior for Kentucky, Skylar Killow-Wilhelm. She had a 9.9 here last week, and she follows up this week Chesney Bennett, who had that 9.75. We want to finish strong here, this back half of this rotation.
Spring back layout. That's very nice. 3-element series. Stuck completely. A little country in there. Beautiful leap. She looks pretty comfortable up there.
Skylar competing in the all-around for Kentucky this season, but she's done that for several years as a transfer. Side aerial here.
Nice dismount. Side aerial 4.5. Nice dismount. That experience she brings from being a longtime competitor on the collegiate circuit. Side aerial, 4.5. Little hop, but nice routine.
We take you back now to the floor where it is Marissa Neal. We talked about the scoring change last week that impacted the Tigers' final score and thus gave them the win. That was Marissa Neal. We'll see how the landings look this week. Feel like those out-of-bound lines have probably been heavy on her mind, although her head coach says she has competed at the highest of levels. She's been media trained. She's been involved in this for years. She's taking it all in stride.
Very, very nice. Huge. Here's her switch to ring leap. 3-element leap series. Very nice.
Small step at the end.
There's very nice dance movements.
Powerful music, intense
Absolutely.
music. It fits her personality. Her head coach told us that she likes to do her routine, stay focused, and we saw her execute like that today.
Absolutely. That was a really great routine for the Tigers. Let's look at it again. This is the whip, double tuck, which was huge, and she landed that perfect. Double pike. And there you go. Look at the coach. She's happy. That was great.
Back on the beam. Well, it's the beam queen, Isabella Magnelli. She's 4th in the nation on this event. 12 beam titles to her name and a 4-time All-American.
She is just exquisite up there. Her body lines. Her 3-element acro series.
That triple series has been perfect every meet thus far.
She's just so confident up there. She knows she owns it. So I mentioned that Isabella got engaged at the first scrimmage of the year at the blue-white meet. It's been going on a little bit this year. Required full turn. Here is the gainer. Dismount.
Perfect.
Stuck. Goosey's on that one.
Elation by Isabella Magnelli. She's a senior. She knows this is her last Excite night. You can tell she is soaking in every moment.
Next on 4.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That feeling when you stick.
Another incredible routine by Isabella Magnelli. Now we show you Kiko Jung once again. Now the last routine was Marissa Neal. We said that her coach described her as very focused, very intense. She's roommates with Kiko, and he said they're kind of opposite. Kiko's very serious when she competes, but said she's the goofiest when she gets to the chalk bucket. Nice
Open
first pass. And those two balance each other out very well. To have two such talented freshmen, the future is bright for the Tigers.
Their freshmen are sure making a name for themselves already. She's a very experienced competitor, though. She's been on the club circuit a long time. And very well known.
Coach Graba said, it is not the same for Kiko and Marissa as it is for other true freshmen.
True. They've been doing it a long, long time. It's nice to see them now on the college level and enjoying, having fun. Got a little bounce check there on that full.
Caitlin Chong.
Let's look at these passes again by Miss Kiko.
So this is the full twisting double back. Nice height on that move. And you know, one thing you've been seeing is the 2 tumbling passes instead of 3. So they have made some changes in regard to that. The tumbling passes have to be on a different diagonal. If they do a double flip in the last pass, it does not count for the bonus unless there's a connection to that.
Here's another exhibition for Kentucky. It's Abby Bednar. You see Kentucky scores finalized on your screen. Isabella Magnelli, a 9.925 in that anchor spot, which means Kentucky gets to count all 9.825s or better, only dropping that 9.75. For Auburn, of course, they will be dropping Olivia Hollingsworth's score. We haven't gotten official word yet, but we do have eyes on her. She's sitting up on her own, talking with the trainers. Seems to be in good spirits. Of course, they will be dropping that score. Every other score will count for the Tigers on floor.
You know, one thing I want to say about gymnasts, if you go to a practice anywhere, these kids drill and drill and drill and drill because, again, consistency. And they do so many things outside of just doing the 4 events to keep their bodies stretched and in shape and doing the numbers to get consistency. But they drill and drill and drill. And that's why part of what makes them safe when they actually do it on the event.
Paige Zancan coming in as an exhibition for the Tigers.
Nice double fight. A little bit short on the landing.
As this is an exhibition, unless there is an inquiry that we have not seen yet, this is where the scores stand after this 3rd rotation, meaning Kentucky has expanded the lead here in the 3rd. We'll also check in on this all-around score between Kiko Jong and Skylar Killer-Wilhelm. Skylar is in the lead for Kentucky. She's at a 29.575. Kiko, 29.375, so a 2/10 difference between those two gymnasts right now. One more rotation to go here in Lexington.
Well, people ask often, why the exhibition routine? Well, we're at the point in the season where the coaches are really trying to solidify the lineup. What are their top 6 going to be, and start putting them in so they get experience in the meet situation. So you never know when that 6th kid can come in there and pull a score for you. So coaches are looking right now, who are my top 6? Very nice routine.
Paige Zancan.
It's Excite Night in Lexington, and we only have one more rotation to go. The Cats going to the floor after setting a season high there last week. Auburn going to their best event, 6th in the country on the beam after this. To this point, we talked so much about how experienced Kiko is with all of that international experience on her resume, but this is her first SEC road environment, and it's rocking in here. This is a crazy place to compete. It is a sellout, and we've seen maybe a little bit of those jitters reflected in her scores.
Right. You know, the SEC crowds are amazing, but they're well-educated fans. They appreciate good gymnastics, but it's hard to compete as a visitor at a home SEC meet.
So Kiko on the floor, she ended the last rotation for the Tigers with a 9.75 as Auburn goes to the beam for the last rotation of the night. But this gives them a good chance. This is their best event, 6th in the country. Her flight series. This is Olivia Ahern from Memphis, the freshman.
Well, here's a little nugget. Olivia's dad was a cheerleader at Kentucky. And heavily involved in that industry, but he has a little gymnast on his hand.
And a fabulous one at that. Her season high here is a 9.825. She competed that in meet number 1 of the year. Didn't go last week though, but she's back on the beam tonight. Nice dismount from Olivia.
Nice dismount. Let's look at that dismount again. Perfect form. The round off. 4.5. Very nicely done.
Starting on the floor for Kentucky, Delaney Rodriguez.
It's Miss Leadoff hitter once again for the Cats. Delaney Rodriguez back in that first slot. Kentucky as a team last week setting a season high on the floor of 49.35. And yet Coach Garrison said, might be our season high. I'm hoping that's our starting point.
That's right. And I tell you, being at home, on floor last, at Excite Night, there's no reason the Cats shouldn't rock it. Very good. Clean. When you hear us say it was a clean routine or a clean pass, it means no execution errors.
Delaney is a sophomore, a lot more comfortable in this environment. This is her first Excite Night here in Memorial since it was in Rupp Arena last year. Coach Garrison said she loves this routine this year. You can see that reflected in how she performs it.
And like Auburn, Kentucky has one of their gymnasts that does a lot of their choreography. That's Cadence Bromley. The last pass. Double tuck. Stuck. Can't get better than that, I don't think. Now she's showing her personality. We're dancing it out. A little help from Cecily on the side. The last pass for D-Rod. Oh, very nice.
Great height.
Huge leap. Right. You can definitely have some fun with this music.
Cat claw at the end from Delaney. Strong start by the Cats. Here's the first pass again.
Nicely done. 4.5. That straddle jump is huge.
So this is a lineup change for the Tigers. Of course, Olivia Hollingsworth, an unfortunate injury on the last rotation. She is, of course, not competing in this event. In her place steps Olivia Greaves.
Comes her acro series. Beautiful. Nicely done. No errors that I see. Good sleep. Split jump. And another thing to the aspiring gymnasts, work on that dance. Work on your leaps, your jumps, your turns. You can spend or should spend as much time on those as you do your acro. If you can gain or lose points from your choreography.
And the dismount.
Tight dismount. That was a stick. They're pretty happy with that.
Olivia
Great
Greaves,
job.
once again, coming up clutch for her team. Inserted late into this lineup and just handled it beautifully.
How outstanding to have someone that good as a backup.
Just a sophomore.
Isabella McNally.
It was a 9.85 for Delaney Rodriguez in the leadoff spot. We go now to gymnast number 2, Isabella McNally. Another fun, high-energy routine by, yes, a performer.
Yep. She may be the floor queen as well. Very nice. That was beautiful. Look at those jumps. Outstanding.
Impressive every time.
She's one of those gymnasts that just is impressive with the lines that she has. She's very beautiful in her dance. Fully extended, on her toes. And working that crowd. All right, she's getting ready to finish up here. And see her teammates double bite. Her jumps are just tremendous.
Isabella McNally puts a bow on her night with another solid floor routine for the Cats.
Very nicely done first pass. Happy with it. Double pike. It's a little bit short on that landing, but won't cost her too much.
Paige Dankin coming in now for the Tigers.
Beautiful mount. Beautiful mount for Paige. Little Adele background music.
Love it. She had a 9.825 here last week.
That was perfect. Good sweep. Switch off. Very nicely done. We talked about those splits. She was there. This up. 4.5. A little hopper there, but that was a really aesthetic, pleasing routine. Beautiful dance.
Not a bad seat in the house. That's what Tim Garrison told us this week about this new look Memorial Coliseum. It's a sellout, 6,051 1,001 people coming out to show support to these gymnastics programs tonight.
And I saw something where tickets were going for as high as $200 for this event.
Wow.
We started with donuts and pizzas.
Tonight, they settled for cat ears. You see some of those in the crowd, the lights. Always fun. And hey, speaking of fun, how about a little Cecily Rizzo for you?
Oh, Rizzo
First pass, a double
dance
tuck
it out.
here. Check out the height.
Huge.
She debuted this routine officially last week. She'd been an exhibition before that, but just her second official routine.
4.5 front layout, and she's another one with beautiful dance lines, and she sells a routine. And when we say that, we mean she's making everybody, drawing everybody in with her presence. And for the fans, you know, the dance should be done on the toes, not flat-footed. The judges will take deductions for that. But it also extends the length of the legs, so it makes the dance much prettier. All right, see how she finishes here. Huge double pike. Little cat claw there. I think she clawed it out. Great routine for Cecily. I think that will help the cats. And then we're back to the Tigers on beam. We got cats and tigers. Last pass, huge double pike.
Back on the beam. Final time you will see Miss Kiko Jong tonight. Soak it in, the all-arounder. Not having her best night, first time on the road in the SEC, but still put up some very strong numbers as a true freshman, competing on every single event.
That is a double wolf turn. It does have bonus, very difficult. She is just a lovely gymnast to watch. Double acro pass. You're going to be seeing a lot more of her. She's making a name for herself for sure. Wow, beautiful. That pike jump was as it should be. Legs up, chest down. If we see that on the replay, I'll point that out. The dismount, very nicely done. Very nice routine. Let's look at this jump again. She does the switch leap. Now look at the pike. She's completely closed at the top, and that is textbook perfect.
Flawless. Very impressive by Kiko Jong. The last time you'll see her tonight, she makes the most of it.
Went out with a bang. Very nice.
We're waiting to see Kiko score, but the Tigers have started to celebrate.
Here we go.
I see 110 and 199.
Fantastic.
She'll split the difference with a 9975, but absolutely a stellar routine by the freshman. We talked about her not having the best meet.
Right.
That's the best way you could end it.
Fantastic. Great beam routine. We have Skylar up for Kentucky. We called her Killer Wilhelm last week, I think.
She's performing like that this week, in position to take the all-around title if she hits how she can hit on the floor.
Skylar is a fifth-year transfer, so new to the Kentucky lineup this year.
Couple of scoring changes happening in here on the floor routine. So Rizzo right now is listed as a 9775. We are getting word that is changing to a 98. And Magnelli a 9775. I'm a little bit surprised by.
I'm actually surprised as well.
So we'll see what Skylar turns in here for Kentucky. They don't typically have to count a 9775 7.75 on floor. We'll see how that affects their team score.
Trying to think back on the routine and see where she could have gotten deductions.
Also, Kiko Jong's final score came in as a 9.95.
Gonna be a close meet.
That is a career best for Kiko on the beam. Skylar's best here so far this season is a 9.85 as well.
Beautiful ending there.
You see her getting better and better each meet as she gets more comfortable wearing this color, Leo, first year with the Cats.
Very nice pass.
Her last pass had given her some trouble this season. No problems tonight.
Nope. Very nice.
Marissa Neal up next for the Tigers on beam. And as we talk about how close this meet could be, this score could certainly swing things in Auburn's favor. Nearly perfect last week with a 9.975.
And ranked 9th in the country on this event as a freshman. Triple flight series, stuck.
Perfect.
It's about as good as it gets.
She's your SEC Coast Specialist of the Week on this event. Olympic gold medalist, or Olympic medalist, I should say, Jake Carey in the meet last week on this event. That's a good sign.
That's pretty good, right? And I want to shout out those Olympians that have come to college after their careers and competed for the college crown and for the college teams. It's really taken gymnastics up a level, and we thank them for that. They don't have to. Have a little fun with the sport.
Another beautiful routine by Marissa Neal.
I didn't see many deductions there, if any. Let's look at this again. It's the triple flight series. Layout, layout, stuck. And then here's the dismount. Round off, 1.5. Boom.
Crushed it. As we talk about Olympians, how do we not say Suni Lee, of course, a former Auburn Tiger. Her head coach, Coach Grava, says that he absolutely credits her for helping getting some of these fantastic freshmen to Auburn. For Kentucky, Kreslin Brose back in the lineup, first time in several weeks.
Huge double pike opening pass. I think she's ready to prove she wants to be out there.
Coach Tim Garrison said, I'm happy to see her back out there, and there will certainly be a lot of people around the country who feel the same way.
Yeah, if you want to see someone that sells the routine, this is it.
He said she can elevate the energy in the room and on her team with this routine. She's doing that right now.
To make it fun, make the audience love it.
A lot of fans in attendance. Yes, absolutely. More than 6,000 of them here tonight, and a lot of little girls who look up to Miss Kreslin. Wow.
It was perfect timing with the music. I love that. Kreslin is a crowd favorite for sure. So many people asking, when will she be back on floor? When will she be back on floor? So here she is right now. Fans of Miss Kreslin. Last pass coming up. Front, 4.5.
For the sophomore, back on the floor. Have to be happy with that one.
First pass, that full front layout. I believe this is her last pass. 4.5.
So back-to-back 9.9s or better for Auburn. Kiko had the 9.95. Marissa Neal just turned in a 9.925 as we go now to Gabby McLaughlin, a fifth-year senior. She had a 9.9 last week, so she could keep this 9.9 train rolling.
She's such a beautiful competitor. I just love watching her.
We saw her floor routine, aggressive finishes, really sharp arms. She brings that on the beam as well.
Very nice acro pass. You know, you mentioned about SUNY, and I will say Coach Graba told us that they are short on scholarships because they weren't sure if SUNY was coming back this year. So they are operating with just 9 scholarships athletes on the team. But SUNY is doing well, as he reports. And look at that, leap series.
Gabby, one of those fantastic stories that you always love to hear. Started off as a walk-on, earned herself a scholarship. This is her 55th straight start on the beam.
Gainer Pike, another beautiful team for the Tigers. It's going to be close, folks.
We told you this was the Tigers' strongest event, and they are performing like that right now. It's hard for the visiting team to finish on beam. Typically, we're not seeing Auburn fight that tonight.
No, they're doing a great job with the home team on floor. But Haley Davis is a competitor. If anybody can bring it home for Kentucky, it would be Haley on this event. This is her baby. She is the rock queen.
She's 12th nationally on the floor. All 9 nines or higher to start this season. Coach Garrison says she has earned every bit of this anchor spot.
She's quite the competitor. Huge double pike, perfectly landed.
And a 9-9 just in for Kreslin Bros.
Those leaps are so tall. You know, Haley's not a very tall gymnast, and for her to get that high off the floor on her dance jumps is great. Pulling you in.
Isabella and Haley certainly have that in common. You see that on display. Another pass here.
Very nice. That was just beautiful. Beautifully done. A lot of girls will get a little messy with their legs on those multiple twisting layouts, but that was perfectly done. We call it loosey-goosey. All right, Haley's gonna bring it home now. Double tuck.
Rocking out with Haley Davis. Another fantastic routine. High scores all season. We expect another big score tonight based on this.
Let's look at Haley Davis again. Her double pike was huge. She could run underneath her. And this is the 4.5 front layout. Beautifully done. And then last pass, a huge double tuck. And that's, again, a textbook stick.
So we have another exhibition now underway for the Tigers. That will conclude all of the official routines as we await Haley's score on the floor. Haley's score right now showing as a 9.925. So another very consistent score for the anchor and the senior who has performed a 9.9 or better every single week. Kentucky with a 49-3 as a team on the floor. That's just off their season high from a week ago, but very strong top to bottom. For Auburn on the beam, it was a 49-4-5-0 that ties their season high. Once again, 3 straight 9.9s or better to end that rotation. This remains their strength. Sarah Zoyce with the exhibition there. You want to perform it strong when you see how strong that lineup is for Auburn. A tough one to crack, but a great exhibition for Sarah.
I'll tell you, both teams have looked outstanding tonight. Just a slight difference between the two, and the consistency and being able to stay on the equipment.
One more exhibition to show you now. It's the freshman for Kentucky, Anna Flint Cashin.
She's definitely going to make a name for herself along the trail. Just learning to work into the lineup, but I think you'll definitely see more of her for Kentucky along the way. Beautiful leap series again. She has such long legs. She's just beautiful with her dance. Winding it down. Just ought to get the crowd into it. Okay, a little breath there for the last pass. About 4.5.
Another cat claw for the Wildcats as they put a bow on another Excite night. Kentucky right now just over a 197, Auburn with a 196.6. We will finalize that here in the next few minutes. Plus, hey, that all-around ended up a lot tighter than what it was looking like early on.
I'll tell you what, a lot of things changed there at the end. We'll
It's
have
Excite
totals.
night in Lexington. Totals after this. Kentucky came into tonight having won 8 straight Excite nights. Scratch it and make it 9 now. And for Kentucky's fifth-year senior Skylar Killow-Wilhelm, hey, how about we make it 10 all-around titles? Congratulations, another one tonight.
Thank you so much.
How did this one feel?
Amazing. I mean, I'm just not finding this out. You know, it feels amazing. I'm a fifth year, been doing this a long time, and so every time, you know, I get to just go out there and compete is another day that I'm happy to be here.
Well, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about your first Excite night?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. The energy is just unmatched here. Like, the SEC is really something different, and I'm just so grateful I get to be a part of it.
It just means more, right?
And yeah, no, really.
Well, you said your favorite event's bars, and you sure knocked it out of the park tonight. It was
Thank
a
you
great
so much.
routine.
Thank you so much, yeah.
A 9.95 on that event, but a great all-around score for you, Skylar, a 39.4. How does this team keep elevating from here? You hit the 197 mark as a team again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we just try to focus on putting one routine together after another, really just take it one routine at a time and keep building 4 for 4 each event, one by one.
For you as an all-around competitor, how do you get through the entirety of a meet just physically and mentally?
I mean, yeah, it's really just taking it one routine at a time, one skill at a time, and really focusing on others, you know, like trying to focus on my other teammates and trying to help them get through too.
Well, I really think the fifth-year kids bring so much experience to the team, and that's definitely what you brought to this Kentucky squad.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome to Kentucky.
Thank you. Happy
Welcome
to be here.
to Kentucky, a major contributor already. Skylar, congratulations again as they announce you as the all-around winner. We will let you go celebrate
Thank
with your
you so
team.
much.
Congrats again, Skylar.
Thank you so much.
First year in Lexington, and hey, an all-around winner. Tonight, the first time in Memorial Coliseum with a slight edge here over Kiko Jung. Skylar's lead was much more extensive until that last rotation. Kiko absolutely crushing it on the beam. But at the end of the night, it's all things Kentucky. It's Excite night, and we felt the excitement here tonight. Leah, final thoughts for you of another top 15 showdown here in Lexington.
I tell you, it's just amazing, and you know what's exciting to me to see the renovations they've spent to raise the women's sports here in Kentucky. Be here with this many people, a sellout crowd. People were trying to buy tickets outside. It's just a great night. The energy here was fantastic, and I think both teams did really well tonight.
More than 6,000 people in attendance, plus all of you wonderful people joining us from home. Coming up next for Kentucky on the road at #1 Oklahoma next Friday night, 8:30 on the SEC Network for the Auburn Tigers. They get to return home to Neville Arena. They will host the Georgia Bulldogs. That'll do it for us tonight. An Excite night win for the home team. I'm Maggie Davis. She's Leah Little. For our entire crew, thanks for joining us on Friday Night Heights.